4 present to signify a quorum. We have 2 excused absences, and we would like to make I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes of the previous meeting of March. I've read them over. Thank you to both Ben and Carly for making sure that they're in good working order here, and I'll make that motion on the table. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Liz. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Going to move on with the next part of the agenda, which is the report from the chair. A lot has happened since our last meeting. Obviously, everybody has seen a few emails from Dan. He has a lot of questions for us. Hopefully today we can address some of those questions. I also have been informed that we have an email address, the Municipal Flag Task Force, Municipal Flag Task Force at albanyny.gov. So far, this is being monitored by myself and the vice chair. The secretary will get the credentials today. As of now, I'm just making a request. There has been one article I noticed in the Times-Union. Any immediate inquiries that we get as a committee, if anyone is approached, that's fine. It would be great to just have that email address ready to send and give to any press. And that way we can just push the communications through that email so we can have a unified voice to make sure all the information that gets to the press is accurate. That doesn't mean you can't, make a comment or a quote. We're no way limiting that, but just so we have a handle on what's going on. Obviously, Brian's not here, so.
Sorry, you just emailed me. He'll be in soon.
Oh, perfect. So we'll save his portion, just move it out of order. I had put on I tried to make the agenda a little bit more organized in sense of what we have already discussed as old business. So we have 3 topics here: AI detection, ranked choice voting, and some kind of reasonable method for validating voters. So I'd like to discuss from the email that we got from Dan. My understanding is that AI detection is the IT department is capable of doing IT detection, but we're not going to limit AI right off the bat. We just want to report that the flag, X person submitted this flag design, they ran it through the software, and that flag was likely used with AI was likely used to create that flag. Is that the understanding that everyone else has?
Yes.
Yeah, and again, a lot of it was the symbols and meanings behind it. As long as they had a story for that, I don't care if it's used as a tool to help the design, But I think the intent needs to not come from a robot, I think that's where we're going. But if you know exactly what you want and a tool can spit it out for you perfectly, I don't see the bad in that.
So I have, you have any comments?
No,
Okay.
no, I thought about it.
Okay, so I have a proposed motion that I'd like to put on the table, and maybe we'll wait for Brian because he is really more of the IT person for this specific one. My proposed motion, so you have it here, is submissions shall be accepted in a digital design format suitable for both review and reproduction, with a preference for scalable vector files. That was our preference from before. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm reading the wrong one. The task force shall retain full authority and discretion to review every submission and determine it is in its independent judgment whether the submission should be accepted or rejected as a finalist. That's for the AI portion. So I guess we should just maybe think about that. Does anybody have any more comments on the AI portion?
I mean, does John Q. Public need to know if we're whittling down hundreds of them and we know which ones are AI or not, and zero of the AI wants to make the final 5 cut? Are we worrying about nothing? Or I think it's worth, as we're reviewing them, having like a label on it where this was clearly
That's
flagged.
what we're worried about.
Yep.
The IT department wants us to be able to just reject AI, and we're saying no, as a body, we want to allow AI, we just want to know that it was created by AI.
Just a label on the submission. Yep.
Okay, that's the direction I was
Very good.
going, so I just, the second part I have is the ranked choice voting. I think we've gone over this a million times. Everybody has been in agreement before on it. I think we need to take a direct vote my motion is the task force shall utilize ranked choice voting in selecting among the final designs. So this is only for the 5 finalists. If we adopt this motion, then we can give better direction to Dan and those who are creating the voting software.
And so we would vote potentially to enact this, and they would figure out how to implement.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just trying to come up with some solid answers to their questions.
Yeah.
Based on the policy that we've discussed now for probably this 5 meetings.
So I guess we define what ranked choice voting is. Like in my brain, the software, you assign 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the software gives points based on that. And I don't think we want to weigh it any heavier than just 1 digit each. So your first most wanted flag submission would give 5 points. Your second most would get 4. Your third most would get 3. Fourth, and opposite descending orders, right? So if your most wanted one gets the most points, and then cumulatively at the end of all the voting, whatever one has the most votes is still the winner, but it was weighted because of the ranked choice voting, right?
Yeah, I think without defining every single 1 or 5 or those point systems, just in general ranked choice voting, or maybe.
Yeah.
How does it work with just like people like in Maine, like where they literally do
there's
it?
something more to it than that. I think what happens is, and I think this was Brian's idea, I think, so he could probably speak to it much better than I. But it has something to do with, if a certain percentage is not reached by one candidate, those votes go to the next candidate. And then that person could then conceivably be pushed into first position. But again, it's not.
Yeah,
Right.
I think that might be how New York City does it. with
Yeah.
ranked choice, Which I've done 1 election there for ranked choice for the mayor at the time. So that's not these the other rounds, and then certain candidates that make it to the next round.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like you revote,
Right.
it was just everything kind of just
Right.
Right. We'll wait for him.
If and I guess because if I'm still unclear exactly how that works, the public would probably need a refresher on it, right? Maybe maybe I'm a dummy, but
No, I don't think so. I think we're stuck in a binary system.
exactly. The idea is that, obviously your second, third, and fourth choices still carry some weight versus 0, right?
Yes.
Just
I think it matters more. I mean, in this case, we would have 5 submissions, but I think it matters more in an election where there are potentially many people going for a primary or,
The next part I have is validating the voters. And we've been going back and forth on this, and I think we could literally spend a whole meeting discussing this. It's been my understanding that residency or defining what someone's address is doable. There are a number of ways, either between the water department and the city assessor, and correct me if I'm wrong, there's ways to validate the addresses, it seems to be, and more so than trying to have a voter find a tax bill, a water bill, and some other things. So my proposal is that the task force shall implement a procedure utilizing street addresses as a reasonable method to confirm that participation in the voting process are residents of the city of Albany while maintaining accessibility to the contest. So we have to balance the accessibility and people participating in this project versus finding that the voters are indeed residents. And that's where the ordinance really says that the voters have to be residents, but we also have to balance the ability for us to figure out if they are truly residents. So coming up with at least a direction in the terms of, we would like you to use street addresses. We're not going to use SBL numbers. We're not going to use all these other forms. Then we can get maybe a little bit narrower into what it is IT needs from us beyond. So that's one of the questions I'd like to answer.
So is it before the fact or after the fact of the voting? I can imagine a system where everybody can vote and then all the data just gets cranked into a database, and then essentially you can name and the address is double checked
I
against
think that is what they're going to figure out.
Right.
We're going to tell them our direction is we'd like you to validate with street addresses.
Right.
Give us your proposal.
Essentially, you're saying we're going to record street addresses and double check them against this.
I think that there's a master list in the back end.
Right.
And that when they validate by trying to vote, if they can put a street address in or not.
Yeah.
So it's like their voter registration.
Right.
But we're not gonna check things like apartment number, because, I mean, okay.
Right.
I mean,
No.
we can really get into it.
Sure.
So, okay,
We have to balance
yeah.
participation
Sure.
and the law. And, I don't know how much money we'd have to spend to make this happen. So without a budget, this is about, I think, our
Yeah.
capacity.
Yeah. No, I agreed on method.
And there'll be probably like a checkbox like under under the law of perjury or whatever. Just saying this is all about that. Well, just like one of those generic, like you're attesting that this is all true information.
Sure.
Yeah.
No one's gonna to sue them though. I don't think the city will come after.
No, but
Right.
then just so we're not, people aren't looking at us like, oh, you didn't go far enough or anything like that. Like, if we're gonna-
It will give them pause, is what you're saying.
Just
Do I wanna
like,
lie?
if we're gonna go, but if people are just gonna be like, based on their honesty, like we just have to like formalize that maybe,
Mhm.
or like something like that.
I mean, it's not unlike a lot of exercises we do every day, as,
Right.
in humanity. So I guess we have to trust so much.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking, just like a little box that's like, I attested this all being true, so that way it's like, okay, like officially, this is your truth.
Well, that could come in also with that this is my design or that I did use, artificial intelligence tools. I mean, there are a lot of different attestations that we could
Yeah.
put together in that, so.
I'm not the attorney, so.
Just a human too.
No, I didn't know.
Just-
Yeah.
If people are getting it all the way to the point where they're putting in their address, a lot of people are nervous about that kind of thing.
That's
The
true.
government collecting my address.
Yeah.
I think that they are probably legitimate.
Sure,
If they're getting that far and participating.
Mm.
And I was kind of just poking around at what I had for just some basic numbers about how many people, I'm thinking, because Dan keeps asking, are we going to have multiple people submitting, multiple voters at the same time? Just based on what I saw, we have something like 95,000 people in Albany. We just had a mayoral race. In the general election, 15,000 people participated.
yeah.
They spent something around $600,000 to get the vote out. Are we estimating 3,000 to 5,000 people participating? Like,
I mean, the
That'd be a
survey
lot.
that resulted in the mayor's top priorities, was only 6,000 people
okay,
voted, so.
well, that's good. That's a good
Yeah.
number.
Yeah, so let's
Okay.
hope. Let's
So,
hope we can get that.
I'm crossing my 5 and putting a 6 down. How many people participated in the, do you know, like in the snowplow maybe?
Oh, good question. I'm sure we could find out.
Yeah. So like, so when Dan's asking and what we're building this for, I guess it would be good to know about what our estimate is from the task force of participation. And I'm sure we're gonna have Nyla, join us next time, so they would be able to, they know how many people go to Alive at 5, they know those kinds of things.
So can we talk through, like, as far as the accessibility versus non-residents voting? Let's throw a hypothetical out there. hypothetically 6,000 people vote, and we get a runaway on one flag, like 3,000 people all vote for our number one choice, ranked choice works the way it was, it's a clear runaway. Is there any need to double check the database of addresses against?
I think that's all gonna be done by IT automatically. We're not
Yeah,
doing that.
it'll be
Yeah,
on-
no, I get that, we're not gonna do it, but like,
6,000 addresses.
would they even need, exactly, would they even need to in a case of a runaway? Would it only residency be proven if?
Yeah, because if the
we
whole,
suspect
every
foul play.
3,000 of your people in your hypothetical voted from Malaysia.
Right, right.
We would, we'd have to check it.
And my understanding is that would be happening at the point of submission anyway.
At the point of vote.
Or point of vote,
Yeah.
voting, yes.
Hi, sorry,
No
I
problem.
lost track of time, the weather was too nice.
That was one theory.
We are just discussing some of the old business.
Okay.
And do you want to jump right into it?
Yeah, or, got that there, HDMI. I'll get hot spotted and then we can jump in.
Do you want to put it like this way? I'm gonna feel like on the,
Yeah, whatever works.
Is that agenda item resolved and concluded now, what we were just talking about, confirmation of,
No, we think we need to
we're
take a
still,
vote.
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, all of these.
Oh, but we'll reintroduce.
Gotcha.
But hopefully we can get a resolution.
Okay.
So we have some direction for Dan.
no. I'm not positive either, this whole.
What's this?
Oh, it doesn't say.
I don't know how it is.
We can probably just move this over to the back corner. It'll be easier.
Or is that this right here?
Oh.
I have one upstairs that's like entirely different.
That's good stuff.
Okay. Remote, I don't know. Buttons. Put it down.
All right. Excellent. All right, so fairly basic wireframes, so we'll definitely need some discussion for text and whatever else, but this is just kind of my first swing at kind of what goes where. So, got a header up here. We can talk about visual design in a little bit, but yeah, headline, nice catchy slogan. I'm not a copywriter, so. But yeah, so our form here, I'll just go through everything quick and then we can jump through to discuss each section. So first name, last name, email, phone number, and we should say date of birth, I forgot to label. I think those are all good fields to have. Date of birth partially because I don't know too much about like child protection laws. I think there's something about not being able to collect any information on the internet for people under the age of 13. So we might have to limit submissions to that. I'm not sure, but date of birth is there. So then a big text block for just free text, tell us what everything is. They can drag or click to open the upload mobile regular stuff. I also put an accordion in here, a good place for us to talk about like what we want to know, what might be helpful for us, help us future design. And then basic boilerplate checkbox for whatever we want. We can have more checkboxes as need be. And then submit, obviously. So basic form, obviously we can add more fields if we need them, we can take fields out, lots of options. Below that is our design resources and history of Albany sections. I went with a 3 and 2 grid, but it depends on how many items we want here. These are the 5 from the Vexillological Association, but we can come up with our own or adapt them, have links, any number of things. Basic history stuff here. And then down here is where we have tabs for the less interesting portions. So process, I didn't really fill that in because I didn't know where to go. You and me both. The mission, I just copy pasted what we had, but we'll want to refine that a little bit, obviously. And then our bios here, I put in the ones that we have. Jamie, I put you on top because you're chair and it's not visible at 7. But we could also do 3 and 4, or probably 3, 2, and 2 would be better. If we don't want to have you right on top or anybody else on top. But yeah, and then maybe a footer, which I didn't design. But it would just be pretty much links to everything else that's on here. I did include the Albany homepage just for reference for design colors. I'll probably go the buttons this color. And
Is it possible to take that background with the
yeah,
big floor?
Yeah. Okay, I can probably yank that and
Strip that.
put that in. Yeah, I can make it look like it belongs. Yeah.
Cool. Nice job.
Thank you. So, do we want to start at the top and go through, like, kind of whiteboard what we want to say, or should I export and email it to everybody and we can do things offline? I don't know.
I think
what the best-
maybe both.
Okay.
You know,
I think we have quite an agenda.
Yeah.
And we want to get some questions answered for Dan.
Yeah.
And maybe just could you print it off? We can do comments and then next meeting we can give you some feedback.
I don't
Is that
know.
okay?
I suppose I can print it. There's no reason you couldn't do that. I can definitely make it a PDF.
PDF email around.
Yeah, we can do that.
Is that okay?
Yeah, if you want to send it between now, I can give everyone a physical copy, like right
That's
now.
great. That would be
Yeah, I'll
Thank you.
format it for
Sorry.
at least a rough.
If this is going to be connected to the city website and using whatever infrastructure already exists to be put online, wouldn't that background, whatever it is, fleur-de-lis, wouldn't that come along too? Or, I mean,
It depends how
you could
things are
tell-
structured.
Yeah, okay.
It might be as easy as saying, we want that.
Right, yeah, that, I'm just trying to save you, I know
Yeah.
it's the Chinese bit of work, but.
Yeah.
Nice job. Organization-wise, it follows almost exactly what we said last meeting, so.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think, I mean, just at first glance, I think we're just looking at copy now.
That's
Work
what
with
the
copy, yeah.
Or if there's anything missing that we think should go in, or something we think is unnecessary.
Well, I would just say that the terms and conditions part, corporate counsel is reviewing what it is that they would like us to say, so we make sure that we get the copyright at the moment they submit. We're not going back, we're not gonna have some negotiation later on. So that's my biggest pet peeve about, not pet peeve, but I wanna just make sure that it's on there.
Yeah.
And that we're not putting the city in a position where
Mhm.
we love this design, all these people reviewed it, now this person wants some payment.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that that's there. And then from a visual standpoint, I'm not the best person. I'll refer to the board for that sort of look and whatever.
Yeah, I figured this would be the highlighted section, because it's the most important, is why I have a different background, but obviously that's all gonna be,
Yeah, and
look better.
I guess it'd be a good time to bring up the idea that we don't know what date this thing is due. It seems to me that there's a lot of work going into this project, and I think it'd be important for us to get it right. So I don't think we should just pick a submission date. With that said, I reviewed the ordinance to a fault here, and I just want to make sure that we get enough submissions that we feel as a board are going to be good enough to be the city flag. So I'm hoping maybe in a couple of more meetings, we'll have a better idea with IT, what it is that we need to do to get this launched. But then also a hard submission date might not be something that we choose. We have somewhat of a rolling submission. So we have a chance to review what has come in, because once we close submissions, the law is the ordinance is very clear that we have 1 month to select 5 finalists.
Okay.
And that might be a huge
Once it's
undertaking,
closed. Yeah.
once it's closed.
Okay.
The thing has to be open, the submission period has to be open for at least 2 months.
Okay.
Okay.
So we can make it longer,
Mhm.
and I think that would be advantageous.
Yeah.
And then have a harder deadline once we have a good feeling that we have enough people.
Yeah, we can say, okay,
And
last
then-
chance for submission.
Last chance for
Yeah.
submissions, we close it out. We can still, there's nothing limiting us from reviewing submissions early.
Yeah.
Right.
Because if we say we have 2,000 submissions, that's a huge undertaking for a volunteer board. So, and then that's where we're gonna probably utilize executive session to really nitpick these people's designs. We're not gonna do that in an open meeting. I think that's reasonable.
Yeah.
So with that said, I guess we can just keep going into this. One of my questions is, that Dan had, he's the one who put it in my head. Are we going to allow people to submit multiple designs, or one design with a missing beaver? I don't know. So we might, you want to talk about that a little bit?
We've talked about this before and
Okay.
how, I remember Duncan had thoughts about that, but my recollection is we shouldn't limit people, because I think many of us might be worried there won't be too many submissions to begin with.
Okay.
So that's just an initial thought. I think we should play it out and see what are the ramifications of that.
Yeah, I'd be inclined to allow multiple submissions from a person. I feel like it would be harder to limit them than it would be, technically harder to limit them than it would be to,
Okay.
Just accept.
yeah.
Okay.
And I think that there's a way that on the back end that those could be grouped together, I would think, if it's by address or by name or
Yeah.
whatever, so that we know, oh, this person did 5.
Okay, so then let's loop back to, prior to your arrival, Brian, we were discussing, ways to validate the voters. And, I had put on the table a motion to use street addresses, as that validation point. We're not gonna use, we had long discussions about this, using the water bill or a tax ID number. We decided that that is just too hard. So if we can move in the direction of street addresses, that would be my preference. Do you have thoughts or comments on that?
Not particularly. Some sort of explanation of why I think would be prudent on there. Like, why we are asking for their address. Just say, okay,
That's perfect.
Yeah.
we just want to limit this
Yeah.
to
Okay.
City of Albany residents to vote. We're not collecting it, we're not putting it in a database. It's just simply to verify that you live here.
Perfect. So I'm gonna put that motion on the table. Then read it again. The task force shall implement a procedure utilizing street addresses as a reasonable method to confirm that participants in the voting process are residents of the city of Albany while maintaining accessibility to the contest. Second on that?
Second motion.
Second. Ben, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
I,
Opposed, nay, and that motion is carried. What's this one? On the same topic-ish of voting, we obviously are opening it to all residents of Albany, regardless of age, which has been the standard we've discussed. Is that our understanding, or are we limiting someone's age, or are we limiting someone to 13 years old?
I think we need to do a little bit of research in, are there any legal reasons why we can't? From a policy perspective, like a holistic why we're here perspective, I don't see a problem.
I don't know.
So it's just is there some reason we can't because of child protection laws or privacy laws or whatever?
And if so, does a parent just need to sign off on it? Like, is it one
Yeah.
of those
Right.
situations, like
your
my kid's got a great
3-year-old.
design, I will submit it for him? Like,
Yeah.
right.
yeah, essentially.
Well, yeah, I think there would have to be a section of like parental consent.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not a parent, so I'm not.
I just want to know where to go with the direction of how to answer the questions and where to move forward. So that's great. I think that's all very helpful.
Yeah, and I think too, just something that I thought of talking about that, because we're gonna open submissions to like worldwide essentially. If you have to think about other countries that might like their laws with minors. and stuff.
Oh, yeah. This is for the voting part.
Yeah, I just made, I didn't get a chance to throw that.
Oh, sure.
forward, so.
Yeah.
So I thought we were on submissions. Yeah, voting, I think they have to be 18, right? Well, if you can't vote in Albany, you can't vote in our flag?
Well, what if we have a 4-year-old submit an awesome design?
Should he
Should
get
they
to
be
vote?
able to vote for their own submission? I think yes, but especially if we're opening this up to participating in a creative thing to get kids involved and maybe in
Right.
government later in their life.
I think this is beyond the scope of our job, but it would be great if there was a way to partner with all of the district schools to have their classes like review and vote, you know?
That'd be cool. I'd also love like a kiosk set up somewhere, like for like an in-person events like Lobby 5 or whatever.
Yeah.
And just something where like we have a table and an iPad and people just like, they don't have to log in or anything. We can assume that they're Albany residents because they're at an Albany event. And we can they can just tap the one they like. And jump to a new one. We can't assume they're Albany residents.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like
They would have to have the same, they have to enter the
Yeah.
address process at a kiosk as it would online. Right?
Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it can't make it too easy for
Yeah,
them.
'cause if, 1,000 people from Troy come down for a live at 5, like,
Well, so
Vegas.
Nyla's coming to the next meeting, and one of my questions for her is gonna be along the lines, and we can certainly think about some of these questions. Now, if we have a QR code that will go directly to that, and we make it nice and big, and one of these, they make these signs, we have them at work, that just pull up and they go on a stick. And, you know, a simple, I think it's Cultural Affairs might be able to set this up for us at Live at Fives, and kind of, they'd have a table, and they're tabling anyway. Just put this up while we're there.
Absolutely.
And that's right around, Live at Fives, right around the corner.
Yeah.
So, or, you know, she might have other ideas for a banner or something that just lives down in Jennings Landing, where they're doing Live at Five these days.
Or even in the concourse.
Right.
Yeah, that's OGS.
Yeah,
That's,
that'll
that's
be
city
like-
here, so it's a
Yeah,
little
they might
bit
not want to do that.
layers, but it is all doable. We just gotta figure out what's possible, what do we have funding for, and how are we gonna get the word out to this awesome project, so.
Carly, I emailed those PDFs to you.
What did you, oh, thank you.
AI detection. We saved this vote for, until you got here. I had put a motion on the table that would allow the task force to retain full authority and control over the submissions while getting that report from IT, and then having the ability to use the report in what we think will be our 5 designs. So the task force shall retain full authority and discretion to review every submission to determine in its independent judgment whether the submission should be accepted or rejected as a finalist. So the computer's not going to be kicking anything out.
Okay.
Every submission somebody makes,
Yeah,
we
the human will look at it.
Human will look at. So is there a second for my motion on AI detection? Second by Brian.
Brian can have that
All
one.
in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay, and that motion carries. The second proposed motion is on this ranked choice voting. Can you give us your understanding of ranked choice voting in terms of an IT perspective of how that might look? In terms of picking ranking it, and then the people who are not getting as many votes, how does that go to help the second choice voter?
From a design perspective, like UI design, website design.
Yeah.
I can see it as drag these flags in order that you would like to see them as the city's flag. And then they're ranked that way. My knowledge of ranked choice voting on how things then jump to the next one is rusty, so I don't know exactly how that would happen. I don't even know if it has to be something that it would just happen in the background.
Yeah. Do those flags then move forward as would that second or third choice flag, could that move forward as the second choice flag in real time? Or is it flat out and get the result at the end?
We could probably do it either way. I don't think we were gonna do real time,
I was saying, when you're
analytics.
bringing bias anyway, if you're showing what the early results are, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would just be an array, and then if there are some that are, if we're gonna do 2 rounds of voting or something, then we
Right.
can drop
I'm
off.
trying to figure out if we can get to, without doing 2 rounds of voting,
Right.
getting to that,
Yeah.
without being biased in our world.
Yeah,
Does that person move forward, and are people allowed to vote more than once in that system?
I don't know if ranked choice matters unless we have a second round.
Right, that's exactly, I think
Yeah,
we're talking about
yeah.
different things, I think we're all
Yeah.
imagining it as like that weighted situation I was talking about before, so that even if your
Mhm.
third choice was, a whole bunch of third choices could win if everything else didn't get higher ranked, right?
Yeah, I mean, that was Eric Adams. He was not a lot of people's first choice.
Right.
And it was his third,
Right.
the third and something.
But by weight, because he had a lot of third choices, he stayed on the ballot, right? So yeah, if we don't do multiple
Right.
rounds, is it just a weighted vote versus a ranked
Right,
choice vote?
right.
Quote unquote. I know we all got specific excited about the prospect of like primaries and how that works, but.
Right.
Without,
So we didn't vote again.
Right. Right.
They call it ranked choice.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, if we are allowing voters to vote once a day or however much, does that then figure into? So my friend is trying to get ranked choice voting happening here in Albany, and I just sent her a text to ask for a quick 2-second. So we'll see if she gets back to me, but.
Yeah, I'm with you. We're going from 5 to 4 to 3 to the final 2 and then to the 1. Because like I think those are the 2 different scenarios, right? We did 1 vote or multiple rounds where we break it all the way down from 5 to 4 to 3.
Right. If we were gonna have more than 1 round, but if we're starting at 5, I mean, maybe ranked choice would work for us in whittling it down to the 5.
Yeah.
I just don't know if we're gonna have a hard enough time getting people to participate in our election. To have them come back again might be very difficult. And I just think that we're continuing to limit. But could you rank your flags how you feel they should go? Maybe you're giving people more of an option. I don't know.
And that's what I'm saying. That's somehow how I always imagined it was that weighted scenario I gave you, where it's a point system of your first choice gets 5 points, your second choice gets 4, your third gets 3, your fourth least liked is 2 points, and your fifth most liked is 1 point. So that way, the person who ends up with the most points at the end is still get. But again, you get a whole bunch of 3s collectively. They could overtake.
But also,
a 1.
it might help if people can only vote for 3.
Right.
So then.
Exactly. I like that even more. So that you only.
First place we get 3 points, second place we get 2 points, third place we get 1 point, everything else we get 0 points, and then it's just an absolute add of how many.
My question is, with that scenario, could you bullet vote and just vote for your number 1 choice and then disregard the other 2 choices?
Why not? Yeah.
Yeah.
We would allow
that one
that.
only gets 3
Yes,
and then.
that's weighted though,
Yeah.
isn't it? That's called when you're like,
Sorry.
I might have interrupted you.
No.
If there are 5 entries and you're like, I hate these 2, I want to split my votes.
Right.
This is my favorite, and then I'm gonna
Kind
get
of like a
these
school
2.
board election.
Yes.
They're not in parties, but you
Right.
can vote for your candidate,
Yes,
right?
more than 1 time.
I don't know what that's called.
Is
that
it
the
weighted?
direction we're going? Weighted voting?
I'm in the Wikipedia article for.
I'm getting answers too, but
We don't have to vote on this today. It's just be good to know the direction so we can talk to Dan about it next time.
right.
So I don't want to rush into anything. If we
can
want to get some
table-
more,
we can
table
it,
this.
Yeah,
And then,
because I think we're all mostly in agreement about what we think should happen in terms of voting. We just don't know what it's called yet. Right?
so that's the homework. That's the
Yeah.
homework.
We can table that, yeah.
All right, so I found a flow chart.
Do you want to plug your thing back in?
Yeah.
Might as well.
Okay, wait, where's the starting point here? Are multiple candidates, okay.
Right, so that's the multiple voting scenario.
Winner-
multiple rounds.
No winner. Eliminate last place candidate.
So,
Oh.
yeah, so
okay.
who's in first place, and then we take out the last place one, and then their votes go to their second choice, and then are added to
Yes.
the.
Excitement wise and like dragging this thing out and getting maximum eyeballs on it. Like this, if you eliminated one for like 2.5, however
Every
many
week.
periods of weeks.
Yeah, we did it American Idol
But,
style.
right, but again, it's, are we gonna captivate
Okay,
the
too.
Albany audience to
Yeah.
hold their attention for 5 weeks? I don't know. I think one
I
vote is
mean-
probably a safer bet.
Aim high.
That's what I'm saying. You get a Kelly Clarkson,
So this only works with multiple elections.
No, it happens automatically. So, everyone has their first, second, and third choice, and then So if their first choice is eliminated, their second choice vote goes to their second
Okay.
choice candidate. And if that isn't enough to take over the first, or then we do it again and say, okay, so then who's now the last choice?
Okay, so like, if the three of us voted for flag design A, and you two voted for flag design B, flag design C, and yours was the least amount, and we're like, okay, C is out, whatever you voted for then comes to.
Yeah, so then if
I
I
So you
voted
get
for,
51% of the majority, right? Or whatever we decide the percentage.
Yeah.
yeah, so with that example, I voted for C as my first choice, but my second choice was B. So C is out, so my votes would then go to
And he
B.
could take over A,
Yes.
okay,
Correct.
yeah, this is how I
what
understand
think.
it now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but
I think
putting
I
it in
told
the context of flags is somehow different.
Yeah.
So.
Big flag. with
The refresher
A,
was
big
very
flag
helpful.
with a B,
Yeah, there we
big
go.
flag with a C.
So what's the overall consensus?
With the refresher, I'm willing to re-approach the motion to do the ranked choice following this model.
Yeah, because this is, we're not asking.
Our first choice, second choice, third
It's
choice,
just-
remove until you get to a majority answer.
I mean, I feel like if the majority want, I don't know, maybe it,
Well, right away, if you get 51% as their first choice, doesn't that just immediately win?
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
if
true,
there's a majority,
that's
if there's a
true.
simple majority, it's gonna win no
Maybe it
matter
works
what.
then.
It's when it gets to be, okay, so you
Right.
only got 40%, and then
Exactly.
these two candidates combined
Mhm.
got to be
Mhm.
45%, okay, where does it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And can we override as the task force? And, okay, well, great, I'm glad. Democracy is working.
It's the ordinance says,
That's
whoever
right.
votes for it is that flag
I
design.
hope we get some great
I don't know if we
results.
need to take a picture of the flow chart to say this is what, how we
I
want to
don't
vote.
want to turn this into a motion, but.
Just submit that. Um,
Do
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 you
we?
want to do this now, or do you want to wait?
I think we know what we need, right?
Yeah, I'll second the motion to use.
Whatever that was just explained, can you write that up? Or help Brian understand what this is?
Yeah, and
So
it's-
you can answer Dan's question next time.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's called instant runoff voting. It's
Okay.
the technical term.
Okay.
As according to Wikipedia.
It's according to Wikipedia, which
On
Who wrote
April
this article?
13th,
Yeah.
2016. or
That's
2015.
accurate.
Okay, so there's a motion on the table for instant runoff voting. There's a second by Ben. The motion was on the table by Brian and seconded by Ben. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed, nay, and that motion carries. Look at this.
We got through all three. Once we knew exactly what it was, yeah.
And we tabled the eligibility for resident minors. Continuing the discussion just briefly, some size limitations. Dan had questions about size limitations. We had questions about the color blindness.
I'm not super concerned about color blindness because the best flags are going to have a symbol of some sort.
Yep.
Like, obviously, Ireland and France are both tricolors with white in the middle. If they're in grayscale, it's going to be hard to tell which one's which.
True.
But we're likely not going to pick
Right.
between us. For the 5 finalists, a flag that is
So,
something that generic. So I would say it's probably not worth.
yeah, I don't even think we need a motion or anything. We're just gonna disregard that question.
Yeah,
It's
just-
not applying to us.
Yeah,
Okay.
and just being like, it falls under the principles of good design, that we'll pick a flag that works.
I guess we can answer this question about allowing for multiple designs. This would help Dan, I think, with his process. Put the motion on the table for allowing individuals to submit more than one design. It's just that simple.
Yeah, I think we absolutely should.
Mhm.
Okay.
If there is a way that he could group them on the back end by submitters. It doesn't have to be like have their name attached to it. It can just be like grouped by the same person. That might be helpful for situations where they're just submitting different variants of the same thing.
Right.
And we can just say, okay, these all kind of stuff.
And that might be a good disclaimer for the header on the submission portal of if submitting multiple submissions, please use the same. We appreciate it. However, you don't want like a Stephen King situation where it's got 3 different pen names or something.
Yeah.
Is there a second for the multiple number of designs? Second by Jonathan. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Does anybody have any specific questions that we can give in advance to Nyla or Dan for next time? I have to go back through the emails, and there were 2 emails since we met, so I wanted to make sure we're thorough, and I will handle that part. But new questions, does anybody have new questions, I guess?
I assume they have the capacity if we decide we want to allow people to vote daily.
Yeah.
And that's something that I think that's.
What is the consent, the
Yeah.
consensus of the body? Do we want to allow people to vote more than once, or do we want people to be able to vote every 24 hours?
I feel like with these kind of web contests, every 24 hours is going to become standard. It also gives people that have a really vested interest a chance to vote as much as they want.
What about on the marketing side? Does anybody have questions that we can give and try and get answers to? That way, when she comes, she'll have. I just have questions about thinking about citywide events and maybe that poster idea and a QR code. I don't know who would design that.
I mean, the QR code?
The banner.
I can do that. That's easy.
Okay.
It's just,
And I don't know we still don't know, that we're just dreaming here. We don't know if we have a budget for any of this stuff, but I think a reasonable ask for some banners and or posters.
Yes.
would be
And then
unreasonable.
the pie in the sky would be like a $500 kiosk with a locks thing where we could bring it to things to vote.
Yeah.
Like a $200 iPad and a lockbox.
Yeah,
Like you could get it down to $500.
But who's gonna man that? Is that the city? Is that us?
Valid questions.
Yeah.
Those are questions.
Yeah.
You gotta ask.
Are they able to?
Find someone on task to have it.
Yeah.
Just sit there.
This is more of a marketing communications, but I mean, really easy, not necessarily that the broadcast is very far, but the Albany city emails that go out, I mean, we should get on that.
Yeah, and the neighborhood association ones.
Yeah, yep.
And that's, if we can almost make it deliverable to the neighborhood
Yeah.
associations that include the QR code.
That's the marketing.
I know the city water department's kind of separate from the city, but I just got my water bill.
Me too, yeah.
And then have on the
Bubble
bubble.
back.
Yeah.
It's available. They are marketing. I don't know what that would be, but
Right.
I'm actually
if we
gonna
could
send
have
you
a corner.
some-
Oh, great.
Yeah, so I'm
If we
actually
can-
just emailed them today, so I can talk to them
Could
about
get a corner.
Yeah,
That'd be awesome.
yeah, that would be good.
this from Mercy.
Some of those are going to people outside of Albany,
Of
but
course,
Yeah.
yes. And that's where both the QR code would be helpful, where it directs them to the
Yeah.
website for both the submission, it gets the
Right.
people. And then when we get to the voting part, we can really say for residents only or something, I don't know. But they're already paying the postage.
True.
2 birds, 1 seed.
Unless you have your water bill on auto pay.
Anybody have friends at the billboard? company for all the billboards in the 90s.
Lamar?
Lamar, yeah. Not for nothing, like, they post
Yeah.
not dumber, but like,
Yeah, they post some pretty dumb stuff.
Yeah.
it's like, what's the golf scores of the Masters last weekend? Like, they were up there on the billboards, like, come on, you can't give us 2 seconds for a flag, a flag.
Yeah.
I think,
All the ads we can't sell.
I mean,
yeah. Doesn't hurt to ask, right?
right.
All right.
And are there any other channels, specifically like thinking like in that kind of scope, that we want to utilize? The water bill is a great one. Anywhere else that you think we could maximize reaching residents?
Yeah, I know, hopefully Nyla will be able to give us a lot of that.
some ideas.
A lot of ideas. And then once we have this, we're gonna start accepting submissions. I think we'll have to go to the news
Mhm.
and go on, and get the TV to do a story. Yeah, because I think that's the easiest way and free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how much it'll reach people under the age of 60, but
That's a lot of our voters are going to be.
that's true.
up there anyway, this is what it is.
I guess I just don't know anybody around our age that watches evening news.
Mhm.
So the kicker is make sure it gets good distribution on YouTube and then on social media.
Yeah.
Right.
And maybe those are some good questions for Nyla too, about the social media aspect of posting our little QR code and our blurb.
And
on
right,
the
would
city
they manage
Instagram.
that?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's the question. It's like, I'm sure they have a bunch of things that they, have a schedule. They've already got it scheduled, Tulip Fest, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
Can we get in that?
Yeah, Tulip Fest.
Right, yeah, Tulip Fest.
All right.
Yeah, did they run all that stuff too for special events? Or do special events do their own thing?
I think they contract with somebody for that, but
I'm not quite sure specifically about special events. Sometimes they're just like hosted by the people who that are hosting it themselves, and they just like apply for like stuff through the city. So it's like not actually with the city, but like the Tulip Fest is hosted by Cultural Affairs Office.
Or cultural affairs are not special events.
Yeah, yeah. There's all the different, a lot of different things going on.
Speak to like the chief, what kind of help they can give us.
Yeah, I hopefully we'll be able to have, get some questions answered from Nyla, and she's, volunteered to come to our meeting next time. And then from there, maybe branch out. And we have, we also have to figure out timing.
Yeah.
I don't want to direct people to a website that doesn't have a submission page.
Yeah, we need to have the website up before we start.
Yeah.
mhm.
All right. Anything else while we have the meeting open?
Did we do new business? Eligibility of, oh, right,
We
that's
tabled
sort of,
it.
that's right, yeah.
Yeah, we tabled it.
Motion adjourned?
We tabled the resident
Yeah.
minors. We have to figure out some
Legal.
Right,
So the
yeah,
legal.
okay.
and
Then-
we came up with some questions. And we got a lot of, we have some solid answers. We got a lot of answers to help and for
Yeah.
Dan. And we have homework.
Yeah.
And we'll discuss again. And our next meeting is May 11th, 2026, 5:30 here.
Carly, if you also want to email out the PDFs
Mhm,
directly,
Yeah.
if you want to leave comments on the PDF, that's easier instead of drawing and bringing it next time, that's fine too.
All in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
Aye,
Opposed, nay. We are adjourned.
yeah.